Hello, hello, hello. I barely touched the button and it went live. I was like, okay, I guess we're going live right now. Hi, and welcome to my Facebook Live. So that little thing that I've been fighting, I feel like, well, number one, I know what happened. I made a little mistake. Yesterday, I celebrated, if you saw my post, and I had rosé champagne, and that was probably a boo-boo, a mistake for me to do, because today I feel, it's not hungover, I feel like this sickly feeling, but I really felt called to still give this live today. And I really don't regret it, because yesterday just felt so right to celebrate, and I'm really happy about that. So we're just dealing with what we're dealing with today. And I am going to rely on my highest self to come through today, because my human feels a little off. So I've already called in my highest self to come and channel through to today the messages that I have to share with you. And my prayer is that it fully lands inside of you, because what I'm going to share with you today is going to be very eye-opening as to why some people have treated you a certain way, and perhaps the reason why you have done certain things to people. And as I was writing through these codes, I was like, oh my God, yes, 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 yes. So you're going to gain a lot of clarity on past relationships, maybe current relationships, and what to change for future relationships, especially if you're calling in that, your soulmate, your divine union, your sacred partnership, divine partnership, or if you just really want to have just a healthy relationship. It's so important to embody all of these codes that have been coming through me to share, that I'm giving to you. This is what I have learned to be so important, to have that healthy relationship where your nervous system feels safe, where you're communing with another person, and you're walking side by side in that relationship in life, and it's not like a mess during this walk. It's more of we're a team, we're doing this together. I am a sovereign person, you're a sovereign person, but we're doing life together for however long that season of life is, to death do you part, or if they're just in here to provide something for you that you will learn and then move on to the next. And all relationships are beautiful, and all relationships are sacred, and all relationships have something to offer you. Even the ones, especially the ones that were so tumultuous. And I can tell you for a fact that my previous relationship is what led me to be a sovereign woman. 100,000%. And I'm forever grateful for that. So let me just move this over here. I feel like that's a better view of this chick right here. That's actually supposed to be a towel holder, but I was like, ooh, let's put that in the room, put sexy vibes in the room. So today I'm going to talk about, I might be drinking a lot of water today too, just to make sure that my throat clears up. So today the code for transmission 5 is reciprocating sovereign will. Reciprocating sovereign will. This is something that is so important, because what happens when we get in a relationship, we are now in, how should I say, a team, but you're co-creating life together when you're in a relationship, right? So your partner's decisions can affect you, right? Your partner's decision can change the trajectory of your relationship. Your partner's decisions can impact you and him and the sacred union. So our humanness kind of wants to get in the way, right? Because we want to protect the relationship. We want to protect the love. We want to protect ourselves. And sometimes as the oracle, the women, the feminine is the oracle, we see sometimes the bigger picture or the potential or whatever it is, and we want to call our partner to that. And sometimes the way we do that is by a mothering energy, a controlling energy, a manipulative energy, therefore taking away your partner's sovereign will for them to make a decision that's best for them. but we unconsciously and out of fear do this. So it's not that we're like trying to be mad or not mad. I was gonna say maleficent, but that's not the word. We're not trying to be not mad. What was the word I was trying to say? Mean. I think that was it. We're not trying to be mean, and we're not trying to like, be evil or anything like that. It's just our own fear that gets in the way, because we want to protect our heart. We want to protect whatever we've created. But really, most importantly, we really want to protect our heart, because we're scared that whatever decision they make could hurt you, could disappoint you, could cause you to make another decision that leads to a breakup of the relationship, or a slowing down of what your guys' dreams and desires were. And that can hurt sometimes, So I do have a little bit of notes today too, because I haven't been feeling that well. We fear that they're going to make the wrong choice. We fear that they're going to make a choice that breaks your heart. And we're scared of that. We're scared to hold what's uncomfortable with whatever it is. Right? So we try to control or manipulate, impose our will onto them to make a decision that they want to make. So, for example, that we want them to make that is what you think is most aligned for you. But is it really most aligned for them? That's the question. And what's aligned for them maybe is not what you desired for them to make. Right? So then it becomes about you and not necessarily about them. It becomes about you because you are not happy with that decision. Maybe it didn't fulfill, let's say it has nothing to do with you necessarily, didn't impact your relationship or your heart or whatever, but maybe it's not the decision that you thought that would help them in their life and in their trajectory in their own individual life. So that's one reason, and then we feel uncomfortable about that because we think that we know better, right? Or the decision that they do make impacts you and does hurt your heart, and we're uncomfortable with holding that void, holding that heartbreak, that uncomfortable feeling that they did that maybe wasn't the best decision necessarily for the relationship. And therefore it's about you, that you can't hold the pain. You can't hold the void. You can't hold your disappointment about what they did for their life. So when I was writing these notes down, I was like, this is absolutely why my ex did what he did to me. This is exactly why he did that. And I already knew this, but it came like a different level of clarity. So my ex has an opinion, has a belief of what he thought a perfect woman would be for him, right? Therefore, he would impose his will on his partners, in this case me, to become what he needed me to be so that he could feel safe. Imposing his will into my energetic field to end up pushing me to make a decision that really wasn't aligned for me, or making a decision that was premature to me, and therefore creating resentment towards him and then the relationship, and then losing a piece of my soul every single time because I gave into his power. And I gave my power to him because of what he was trying to do. So all the reasons why he was doing what he was doing is because he was scared that I would make a decision that didn't feel safe for him, and he couldn't handle that decision. He couldn't handle how it would make him feel. He was not rooted. He wasn't secure about him and who he is, because whatever I did impacted him. Whatever I did impacted him in an unhealthy way because of what I mentioned more in the beginning, because he would be it would disappoint him, whatever decisions I would make for my life. Right? And then he would get mad about that. And then he would say it would impact him. So it was really that it was all about him. It had nothing to do with me. It was all about him not able to hold the uncomfortableness, the void, acceptance, like all those feelings. It was just about him. That's why he treated me the way that he treated me. He didn't reciprocate sovereignty. Did he manipulate, control, and do all those things that are not nice? Yes. But if you really look deep down, it was really this insecure little boy that relied on his feminine partner to keep him safe. Do you get that? So if you have a relationship in the past where they did these things to you, deep down, it was always about them because of their lack of safety, and then this inner child inside of them that relied on you to keep the relationship safe, to make him feel safe. That's not how it should be. That means that he is not practicing sovereignty. Your partner is not practicing sovereignty, and they're relying everything on you, and they're outsourcing their power on you. They're outsourcing their safety on you, and they are not free from external control. You follow? So maybe the same could happen, obviously, for you. And what happens is, even in a healthy relationship, for me, for example, I'll just use me as an example. Even in a healthy relationship, I could want to dictate what I see and what my partner needs to do. Right? For example, let's go with moving to Florida. When I shared with him that I was moving to Florida, and I was nervous about that. I was nervous about what he would, that I was I was ready, serious to move. I was nervous about what he would say, and that he wouldn't want to move, and he wouldn't be ready to move. So it was so important for me to reciprocate sovereignty, and for me to know that I am okay and I can handle it. I can handle the void, which would be the time that it takes for him to actually make a decision, and the conversations in between that decision, and whatever he does decide, that I will be okay and I can handle it. I had to go through all that. I had to be able to know that I could handle it. Right? I had to self-source my own safety. What I could have done, which would be the opposite of reciprocating sovereignty, is I could have pushed him. I could have try to convince him of all the reasons why we need to go, maybe push him a little harder, perhaps manipulate, perhaps control, perhaps put all this pressure on him to make a decision that would best interest me, which would make me feel more safe, which would make me feel like, okay, our relationship is safe, if nothing's going to happen. I could have done those things, but I would not be reciprocating sovereignty and sovereign will to him. I would say, you don't know what you're doing. Let me tell you, and I'm going to force you to do this. I'm going to take my energy and just totally impose it on you so that you can make a decision that feels best to me. It's not fair at all. That's not fair. And let's say he's either going to make a decision that's not best for his soul. He's going to prematurely make a decision and probably create other decisions behind that because he wasn't fully ready. And then the third is that he would hold resentment towards me. Let's say if he moved and certain things bothered him, then he would blame it on me because I pushed him to it. And he listened to me versus listening to his own soul and his sovereignty of what's the best decision for him. So I told him this almost every so often we had the conversation. I'm like, it's very important to me that you make the decision that is best for you. Like, I want you to make a sovereign decision. It's not fair for me to take that away from him and act as if I know what's best for him. I don't. He does. Your partner knows what is best for him, and you have to trust that. You have to trust that, and you have to know that you have the power to hold whatever comes out of that decision. You can't rob people from any choices that they need to make for themselves. You can't. Just imagine if it was the opposite, right? This is reciprocate sovereignty. What if it was the opposite? Would you like someone to do that to you? And when they do that, you know what that's saying? That you do not believe in their power to make the decision that's best for them. Or that they don't believe, and if we, opposite, they don't believe that you and your power and that what you're going to say is best for you. Not say, but the decision that you make is best for you. You see what I'm saying? So it's really important as you're in a sovereign relationship to practice that integrity and to not be a hypocrite. Because when you have a nice guy, let me tell you, we could go into mothering energy, which is something else I really wanted to say too. So mothering energy, you become the parent, he becomes the child, right? So then you're now putting all these choices and forcing all these things for your partner to do. When you are and when it's the opposite, when the masculine is in that parent role and you're the child, they become very more like domineering, controlling, almost like it's taking something from you. Because my ex, I was a child and he was the parent. But with the masculine, from my experience at least, because I think the way that men are, because of their masculine core, it comes off a lot more abrupt than with the other way, when the feminine is in the parent role and the partner is in the child role, right? So it's really important for you to believe in your partner's power. Trust is important for you to trust that they are going to make the best decision that is aligned for them. It's important for you to trust that decision, or that your relationship is always going to end up in the highest good for all, for you and for him or her. It's important for you to know that you can hold the void, you can hold the uncomfortable feelings, you can hold whatever it is. And even if they do make a mistake in their decision, you can hold that. And you guys can come out of that together. Like, you have to know that. It's all about you. It's always about you. It's never about them. Just looking over my notes. So, what you need to remember is you are whole and complete as you are. That was one thing I didn't talk about. You are whole and complete as you are. So we can come out of sovereignty when we do not believe that we are whole and complete as we are. And then we need a partner to complete us. And therefore, their decisions will always impact you if that's what you believe. Because whatever they do is always like, oh my God, that hurt me. Oh yes, that was so good for us. Like, it's this tug of war on your emotions, on your emotions. And we're always reliant on them and what they do. So you have to this is like a key piece to reciprocating sovereignty, is that you are whole and complete as you are. You are whole and complete as you are. You as your own person. Your partner does not complete you. You are in this life with your partner. You guys walk together in life, but you are your own individual person. He is his own individual person, or her. You guys have autonomy and you guys walk together with life. That's how you know that you are whole and complete as you are. You got to believe in your partner's power. believe in their power to make the right choice. It can be really scary and very uncomfortable when you want them to do something for you because you're making a choice that's out of your sovereign will, out of what's best for you. Like me moving to Florida, that is best for me. I know it's best for me. Like, I know it. So when I communicated with that with my partner and I was like, I have to move down, like there's no other option, I had to believe he would make the right choice for him. I had to believe in his power. And then the third thing to remember is you got to trust in your partner's power and your partner's decision, and trust that you can hold whatever comes after that. You can hold the void, and know that the highest good of all will come about in your relationship. And it can be uncomfortable to know that. But if you love your partner unconditionally, then you know that you want the best for your partner, whether it's whatever that decision is that they make. And that's how you know you're in a sovereign relationship. I absolutely want to have the best for my man. I want him to live the happiest life that he can live, and and that requires me to allow him to make sovereign choices for himself, to reciprocate the sovereignty that I'm practicing within myself to him, and vice versa. So I hope this shed some light on maybe perhaps some previous partners of yours that perhaps were like controlling and manipulative, and you can see it's just that they were in their own fear of an insecure inner child, a little boy inside of them that was relying on you for safety, and they weren't in their sovereign divinity, and they couldn't reciprocate sovereignty to you. And I hope this sheds light to maybe some other past experiences where maybe you were the one that wasn't reciprocating sovereignty, and you were the one that wasn't in your sovereign power in this relationship. So I hope that helps. This was I know this is going to shed some light on some of you out there watching this, and past relationships, maybe your current, and what you can do for future ones. So I have one more transmission. It's coming maybe tomorrow. We'll see how I feel, because I've been feeling a little off thanks to the champagne yesterday. Today I feel like a little not so good. So let's see what happens tomorrow. But the last code is so good. This is going to be super fucking juicy. So I really want to make sure I'm in like the right energy for it. It'll be the last code to give out of these 6. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.